So let's move on to image tags. I'm going to hide the HTML just for a second, and we're just going to take a look at this. So our image tag looks as follows. We can tell already that we have an src value here and an equal sign, followed by a URL, which leads to the image. And then we're setting an arbitrary height here of 100 pixels. And this is what you end up with, the image right here. So the image takes the src attribute. I wrote tag there, but it should say attribute, which stands for source. The direct URL as the value tells the program what image to use. So effectively, just like we were talking about, our source is our attribute, our equal sign, and here's our value right here with an attribute of width and an attribute of height with 200 pixels as the values to both. So that's why this image right here, that's the image itself. And then this height thrown on top of it to make it smaller. Let's see if we can change that actually. This is just written here for display on the page, but this is the one that's actually controlling it. Let's make that width, that height, 600 pixels instead. And you see that the picture got taller. And let's bring it back down to 1, make it real small. Now it's tiny, cute. Let's talk about common errors with the source tag. So if you're practicing your attributes that you know that this is an attribute like any other, you look it up, src, and you put down the URL. But what URL to use? I'm going to show you 3 errors here. So first I'm going to show you how to do it correctly, and then I'm going to show you errors that pop up. No, actually, let's go through these links. So this link number 1 corresponds to the code in this area, and you can see it does not work. We'll take a look at the HTML next. The link in this one also doesn't work, but the link in this one does. You see they're all 3 different URLs. Take a look down here so you can see the URL preview. We have this long one, slightly shorter, and then this one, which we know is the working one. So let's say you click on the first one. So if you see this puppy image surrounded by this preview, this Google slider, and all these other puppies, and you grab this URL up here, and you put this in your src tag, that will not work. You need this picture to be isolated. Now this link over here is the direct page where the puppy image is actually being stored. If you take this URL and put it into your src value, this will not work either. You need the puppy to be fully isolated. I'm going to show you how to do it in just a second. But just so you know, the Google view and the real page, neither one of these URLs is correct, and it's a common error that people use. And if you try it, you will see this error sign, or worse, nothing at all to let you know you made the error. The only link, the only URL that you can throw in here that will actually produce the image is this one. You need the puppy completely alone. Therefore, this URL will be the exact destination where the puppy is, and it will know to grab the image from this page because there's nothing else to distract it. Now let's say you want to start this from scratch. Find a correct image URL, add the image of your choice, add a p tag underneath the description of the image. Let's get into this challenge actually, because we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The first thing I want to do is set up my image tag. So we go image, src, we use the quotations, and it's self-closing. So this is the first thing I do, the bare bones, the foundation. We have our tag image, img, followed by our attribute source, because we know we need one, and then equals and an empty, nothing in the quotation marks, because that's where my URL is going to go. And now I'm going to go look for a puppy. So here's where the mistakes happen. First thing you do when you type into Google Images is you see all these puppies. You're like, oh man, which one's the one I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick this one because he looks silly. And I'm like, I'm done. Let me grab this URL right here because that's where the puppy is. Let me put this puppy in here. Right? I put in the URL that I wanted, and you can see, boom, error right away. Dang. Okay, so the puppy is here. I see the preview. Let me click on the actual image. Great. So it takes me to where the puppy really lives. I'm going to take this URL and I'm going to put that in. Instead, I'm going to erase this. I'm going to come back to an empty quotation area and I'm going to paste in this URL. See if this works. Just to make sure that so you can see there's definitely two different ones, but it is reloading. Nothing here at all, which is not good. So let's erase this. Here's the trick. You're on puppy. Let's pick a different one. This puppy, right? So you know that if you click it, it takes you to the page, and you know that's wrong. And you know if you take this URL, that doesn't work either. So how can you find a version of this puppy by itself? Now, I'm using Opera, which is similar to Chrome. But what you want to do is something along the lines of this. If you right-click, you get this menu. And the one that you want, in my case, is this one. Open image in new tab. This will isolate the image. If you're using Google Chrome, sometimes it'll say something like view image or... Hold on, let's just take a look in the different browsers. We got time. Of course, I don't have Chrome here. Try Firefox. If you right click, view image. So what you want is that isolated view. So in Firefox, it'll be view image. But in Chrome or Opera, it'll be open image in new tab. And when you do, you'll see something familiar. You'll see an image by itself. And this URL is the one you need. This is the one that will work. Throw that in there. And boom, we got two puppies. And if you know your attributes, you know the SRC is an attribute just like any other. Hit a space, go to width, set the equal sign, empty quotations, put in 200 pixels. Bam, that puppy is smaller. And now we just add a P tag underneath as a description. This is a cute puppy. And there's our challenge complete. Find the correct image URL so the image displays. Add an image of your choice, boom, and add a P tag underneath the description. Boom. Practice this because it is a common error, but just embrace it, remember it, don't make the same mistake twice, and always track down whether it's a syntactical issue or if you're having trouble with the concept. Because those are two different things to study. Move on.